Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to Sunday, the 8th of September. I got my old buddy Cooper out here with me. What's going on, Cooper? You get out here, these weeds, and they get all in you, don't they? But it's been pouring down rain today. Right now, actually, at the moment, there's like a 95% chance of rain. But it actually stopped probably 30-40 minutes ago. And this nice little breeze out here feels pretty good at the moment. But roads and everything are wet. Look how fast that ground, how in the world does that dry up so quick? I think this place is so used to rain that it just becomes a sponge. And then when it comes down, it takes like sustained rain to finally to make the ground saturate. It's crazy. I mean, look at that. That should just be absolute mud. Look, if you can hear the car going down the highway, it's just hissing on the wet road. But anyway, Friday, I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it, but I got a little something for the Slim. It's not anything cool or no accessory thing. It's just something I do to all my motorcycles, Spyders, Rykers. They all get this little treatment. So let's go tinker with that for a moment. Maybe I'll let Cooper in there with me if he doesn't move tools and stuff around. We'll see how that works out. I'll leave the door cracked so they can leave when they want, and half the time he comes in and goes, nothing in here for me. He bails out. Crazy old Coop. Anyway, let's go do that for a little bit. Maybe it'll stay like this and dry out, and we might be able to take it for a ride. That'd be really cool. But I seriously doubt it. It's nice to dream though, right? I didn't even make it to the shop, and it's starting to sprinkle. Dadgummit. I think it's supposed to be like this for the next few days. See, I'm telling you, that's Danny. These two swap back and forth. You can't tell them apart hardly. Old Danners. Well, you'll probably hang out in the shop. You'll find a little place to lay down. I don't even know you're there. And then there's Abby. And there's Cooper. Alright, let's go do this. And I can't even begin to tell you how much I love and enjoy this motorcycle. It's just the thought of the thing among the way it rides and performs is just that clean, simple. But yeah, it's got that old classic kind of Harley look to it. Right down the old spoke wheels. Tubes in the tires. Man, yeah. So this ride-on is, of course, they're covered up on here. Let me pull. They tape the little bag that comes with them so they don't get separated. Hang on a sec. One observation from the last time I bought it is the price went up. And looks like retail went up on it $2. But I think cost on it went up about $3. That's the most I've ever spent on 2 bottles of stuff, because we get it, being an employee, we get it at cost plus 10%. But it comes with a chart. It tells you, the tire size. So essentially, it's an 8-ounce bottle. It's 7 ounces in the rear and 9 ounces. That would be the front. 7 ounces up front. And 8 ounces, 9 ounces in the rear. I'll get this straightened out. So that's the recommended amount to put in there. And like I say, it's based on your tire size. So I've got, I can just leave 1 ounce in one and put the rest in the other. But what I'll probably do is just pour a whole bottle in each one and not worry about it. An ounce isn't going to make that much of a difference. But it works really well. It the balancing thing, if nothing else, is worth it. But just that safety, I like their little nails and screws and everything in the tires. But anyway, you're supposed to put it in at 10 or 2, because it'll roll and kind of collect in the rim, on the rim side. If you do it at the very bottom, it pulls in a big knot in the bottom of the tire. And it takes longer going down the road for it to balance. And yes, they do shake like crazy for about the first mile or so. sometimes a little more, depending on how long since you put it in did you take off on your ride. The nice thing about it is it clings to the inside of the tire, or in this case will be inside the tube. It kind of sticks to it, and then when there's a sudden release of air, it's attracted to that, and it seals it up. But inside there, you guys ever seen the bead stuff where you pour the beads inside there? You get a little funnel and you pour it all in there. Essentially, it's that bead stuff captured in kind of a gel. You can see the consistency of it. It's pretty thick and like a gel thing, and it finds its home and it bounces, and then if you have a flat, it attacks that. But the nice thing is when you go to change the tire, it's not like some of the other brands where the SHIT goes everywhere, ruins the tire changing equipment. You got to very quickly get it wet and clean it off. This stuff just clings to the area, and unlike the other ones, every time you take off you have to go through a balancing routine. This stuff you have to let it set for a month or better, and it still doesn't all settle to one side. But you'll get a little shake just initially right at front after it's set a month. I think I only notice it if they set for like 3 or 4 months. It's about the only time I notice it, but otherwise you never feel it. Works good. So we can get it front and rear. You guys remember Oz at work? He gifted all of us technicians, I think even some of the part people too, this really cool Michelin Schrader valve tool. That's really nice. Thank you, Oz, even though it's been almost a year ago. Anyway, this is pretty much the gig. Pull the Schrader valve out, put the hose on, knock the nipple down so that it's open, and you just simply squeeze it in the tire. Takes a little bit. It's kind of thick. It'll wear your hand out after a while, and it because it's kind of pasty, it sticks along the side, so you need to remove the bottle from the hose and shake it down to the bottom a few times to get all the fluid out. That's it. The other reason of doing it at 10 or 2 is it can collect around the valve stem, and you do not want that to back flush into your nice gauge, or I don't need to tell you what that's going to do to your gauge. So I'll show you another little trick with this here in a second. Alright, the last moment I decided to go ahead and put 9 ounces in the back. So what I do is I take an air nozzle and I blow air through the empty valve stem and hold a rag next to it, because any residue that's in there is going to blow out. But I do that several times to make sure that this area and the valve core area is completely free of the ride-on, because I do not want that to get into my nice gauge. So I know the fluid is draining down this way right now, so I'll just make sure that the port is clear, put the valve core in and air it up, and that's it. I can't do this one-handed because I don't want any residue of ride-on to blast the camera or me. So pretty much just the first time cleared it out. But I do it, whoa, I lost the focus there. But I do it several times just to make sure it's clear. And now put the core in. Put the 36, I think it is, yeah. 36 front, 40 rear. And I'll put my 9 ounces in the back tire. I'll be a conformist today. Oh, just a quick thing here before I do that. That explains, if you want to freeze your frame on that, that explains how the tire sealer sits in there. And that little strip, that's almost what the inside of your wheel looks, or tire, or whatever looks like when you remove it to replace your tire with a new one. So, as any other patch thing, you don't deal with the sides at all. If you get something in the side, you just, well, with this I could put a patch in it, but tubeless tire, you just need to replace it. So with each bottle comes your instructions, the hose, and a really high-end, well-sealed metal valve stem, which also has the little core tool on it as well. Come on, focus. Focus. It drives me nuts when this thing doesn't do that. So I'll put those on there. Not that it's an issue with this, but like if you're road racing, you can't have plastic valve core caps on there. Because the reason being, the centrifugal force of a bike at speed can actually push the valve core down. That's why you see almost all sport bikes with a 90-degree stem angle. But you still got to use the steel caps. The only thing you got to watch for with these things is they can be a little sharp, so just be mindful of it when you're washing the bike. So here we are at the rear. We'll just repeat. Can't talk today. Repeat the procedure. And you guys notice I cheated and put 2 stands underneath there so both wheels are off the ground. I've got that motorcycle hoist, but it's buried there behind the BMW, and I don't want to. I'd literally have to move the BMW to get it out. So I don't want to go through all that. I'm just putting some balancer / sealer in here. Love you, old gal. Here's another little quick tip for you guys not used to tube type tires. When you evacuate all the air out of the tube like that, the tire pretty much keeps its shape. Well, the tube leaves air gaps, usually around the spoke area, where there's a rim strip in there that seals that off very tightly when the tire is full of air. Well, you need to wait. Like, I didn't hear any hissing, but if you run your hands through the spokes, usually around the valve stem area, you'll actually feel just the slightest little hiss of air. So don't just air it up to 40 psi, the gauge says 40, and walk away. You may come back later and it has, 32 in there. So my advice also is to take it for that first ride and then check it again once everything cools off. Always do your tire pressure cold, and do not go by the pressure that's listed on your tire. That is not the operating pressure of the tire. That's the load rating pressures of that tire. That is not what the manufacturer of the bike recommends you run the tire pressure at. You wouldn't believe how many Spyders I find with crazy over-aired front tires because they look at the load rating range of that tire. That's not the operating range. Find the label on your frame. In an F3, it's just inside the trunk. In an RT, it's just under the seat. That's the pressure you go by, not the load rating pressure of that tire. Got it? Set it to 40 psi. Just checked it, and just in the short amount of time I was talking to you guys, it went from 40 to 36.5. Remember that. Oh, here's a close-up of the gremlin bell Kelly got me. It's a U.S. Navy. Is that what it was? Oh, I'm not saying that right. I think it was U.S. Navy. My dad was in the Navy. She said we were kind of slim pickings on the gremlin bells at the moment. But that's fine. It's cool with me. My old man was in the Navy. Well, hello there, YouTube. Here we are standing on the porch again in the pouring down rain.
Yes.
Feels like wintertime out here. What the heck's going on?
I know it.
It's only September 8th, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's a wet, dreary day.
But you're going to get this time of year, you're going to get those.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as we get some nice ones in between the end of wintertime. Though I shouldn't complain. Last winter I got a lot of rides in. At weird times that you would never get rides in. And it wasn't that bad. I have no complaint. I can't look back over the year and go, it was a horrible riding year or anything weird like that.
No.
It was actually quite nice.
It was.
Didn't get any rides in today. Although it did start to dry up at one point, but came right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't get out.
No.
Looked like it and then not, and then looked like it, then not.
I could take off and something get it all muddy and nasty, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
If I was going dirt bike riding or something, that'd be one. Leo, don't you even think about sneaking through there again.
Yeah.
What are you doing down there? Oh, that's not even Leo. That was Danny. Goofy mutt.
Too many mutts.
But, hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. We had a nice relaxing. It was kind of nice to have a
Just to
rainy
chill.
day and just
Yeah.
kind of chill, hang around the shop and tinker around with stuff. That was actually quite nice for a
It
change.
was.
Anyway, on that, I guess I'm gonna let you go.
Alrighty.
Start another week tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give her a thumbs up, and you guys have a wonderful Monday or Tuesday.
Heck yeah. All right.
All right.
Till tomorrow.
You guys have a good
It'll be
night.
a wet drive to work, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be another, I think it's supposed to be like today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a ride in at work. For some reason, I can always get rides in Vancouver. I don't know how.
I know it. I think it's a different little area.
Yeah. We'll see what will work out.
All right.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.